Ashes of Creation, delays and drama.
Okay, so I try to keep up with Ashes of Creation as much as possible and post my videos in a timely manner whenever something interesting happens with it. But unfortunately this time, when the news came out that they were delaying the NDA removal and delaying the next alpha test, I was live streaming on Twitch, which you can go check out in the video description. There'll be a link there. Come hang out. It's a pretty fun experience, to be honest. And I reacted to this live, and when I sat and thought about it, I was like, you know, there's not a full video's worth of content here, so I probably won't make a video.
Okay.
But then luckily, Stephen Sharif crossed the line. You guys aren't going to believe this. Like, some people are going to get upset that I'm talking about this even, because it is honestly horrible that he did this.
What the fuck?
He fucking gave his opinion. He literally logged online, opened social media, and gave his opinion about video games, which I know he's issued an apology, but I'm still shaking, bro. I'm just shaking that this man had the audacity to give his opinion about something.
This was about the New World thing.
I'm not going to try and trigger anyone too much. I will warn you before we start talking about specifically what he said, because I do understand it is 2021, and somebody giving their opinion online about video games it's just dangerous. So we will get into that in a little while, but first let's go over what happened with the non-disclosure agreement and the delays, which, to be honest, this is like the third or fourth delay, I think, in the last 6 or 7 months. So it is a little...
Well, they have to keep delaying the game. They're delaying the game over and over and over because it's not ready. Because they know, like everybody knows, right? If Ashes of Creation comes out of NDA and it's not at least looking passably good, what's going to happen is every single person is going to meme on it like crazy. And nobody's going to want to talk about it. People aren't going to want to be supportive to it or anything like that. So they can't let that happen.
Bit of a problem, but at the same time, there are things to discuss.
That's completely different.
May 14th was supposed to be when the non-disclosure agreement was removed, and you'd see people streaming the game, playing the game on YouTube, things like that, talking about what was going on. And they've delayed it again until June 9th through to June 11th. And then the full 1 month testing that was supposed to be live on June 1st has been delayed until June 14th until August 13th.
Yeah, it's not going to be a while.
So a couple points to hit on here. In the actual post, as you can see here, he goes into a lot of depth on what's going on with it. And I've been through this, and I've actually talked to Stephen about this privately, and he seems to be on the level in terms of like what the statement is, and the questions asked him made sense. And there's two viewpoints here that I want to go over. So the reasons that they delayed the alpha was because they tried to put in the siege mechanics into the test, and they're not ready yet, which I think it's a little bit of a shit.
The game is so complex. The game is incredibly complex. It makes sense that they're gonna keep delaying it. Like, it's gonna probably keep happening, man.
The excuse, because like that's literally by definition what an alpha is. Yeah. You should be testing these things because that's, you know, what it's there for. And you also made that problem yourself because like a week before the test starts, you push in a massive update. Seems like a fairly bad idea. But then, of course, the other big reason was that on June 1st, which was when Alpha was supposed to start, Blizzard have announced that that's when the Burning Crusade Classic's coming out. And I think there's also like an Elder Scrolls Online expansion or something,
it comes
something
out
like that.
on
I don't
the same
follow
day.
the game. But I think there's something to do with that game as well. So basically what they were saying was, we don't want people to be forced to choose between the two. And we know most people would choose to play the full games and cover those instead of playing our game, which is just an alpha.
Well, it makes sense, right? I mean, yeah, Burning Crusade and Elder Scrolls are going to completely overshadow Ashes. Like, everybody would have chosen to play one of the two instead of Ashes. Like, that's just the reality because they both have, like, established fan bases.
Cover the game. I want to see people play the game. I want to see, you know, the nitty-gritty, what's going on with it and everything. But at the same time, it's a business. He has like 100 employees working for him or something, and it's in their best interest to operate in what makes sense for their business. And obviously showing a game that has problems and also not getting enough hype around the launch of the game's alpha is bad. Exactly what they're going for. At the end of the day,
100%.
What we think of alpha from like 10 years ago or whatever, where an alpha was literally there to
an alpha is an advertisement.
Test the game.
That's
and
it.
Everyone
they're just advertisements.
Or, you know, was being paid to test the game, understood that it's an alpha, you know what I mean? But nowadays, alphas for marketing, alphas for PR.
There it is.
And that's what they're doing. The non-disclosure agreement is there to protect people's perception of the game and to not show them things that they don't want them to see. So it's perfectly reasonable and understandable from the business aspect and from Stephen Sharif's aspect that they don't want to like fuck up the hype train. But for me, I obviously would like to see the NDA removed. And the other perspective on that from like a consumer standpoint is there's a lot of people that value the transparency and think if you're not being fully transparent, you have something like bad to hide. And I see that quite a lot. But then on the other side, you have a lot of consumers that are like, you can do pretty much anything you want.
The thing is, those are the people that are like, please be transparent with us. Please be transparent with us. Why are you hiding things? And then you show it to them like, I hate this. This is terrible. Oh my God. This is so bad. Why did you bring this out? It's not ready yet. Like, that's why they did it. It's because that's what's going to happen.
So long as you deliver a good game and we support you in basically doing what you need to do, even if sometimes it's slightly at our expense to essentially get a good game out there. True. You basically want them to do as much as they can to make as much money as they can and deliver as good of a product as possible. Yeah. Which, you know, I'm a little bit of both, but if you told me them releasing the NDA would make the game flop or, you know, have such a bad reaction that nobody wanted to play the game and it was like not
From what I've heard is that the game right now is like really unfinished, and I am assuming that if they released it, it would have actually made it a lot worse. Yeah, I think that's absolutely, I've talked to like a couple of people about it, and a lot of the comment was terrible apparently. Yeah, it's like a lot of negativity was surrounding, like a lot of like bad feedback was surrounding the alpha. I've read some comments about, now that the verbal NDA is out, I've read some comments about it, and that's what's been said pretty much universally. So I think it's a good decision that they held it back because people said that it wasn't good. People are scared for a modern game development release cycle. Yeah, of course. 100% they are. And they have to know that and make decisions based around that.
For it to ever do well, I'd say obviously keep the NDA. It makes total sense, and there's nothing like inherently bad about this, other than the fact that they started selling the alpha packs again on May 5th for $500 for access to this. And my issue with that was, of course, there's an element of FOMO to this, fear of missing out, and like the huge hype around the game by people who the game's not even designed for. Like a lot of WoW fans that come from like Asmongold's coverage and stuff like that. Hey. This is nothing against those people.
It's true though. Whatever he's gonna say is true. Yeah, whatever he's gonna say is true.
It's just that the game is way more hardcore and niche than what those people probably think the game's going to be. So there's a lot of people who are like looking at this as like, this is the next big MMO. I'm super excited for it. But the game's not even made for those people. And some of those people that don't follow it as closely could definitely be like caught up in this hype train and then buy into the game.
I certainly hope that's not the case. I do hope that the game has like a large mass appeal. I do really feel like the game should have a large mass appeal, man.
Without even having anyone like that isn't paid by the company, being able to talk about it publicly and show you public footage and let you know what's really going on with it. That was my only problem. But they alleviated that because they here say, also given the delay in our testing schedule, I will be extending our refund policy from 30 days to 90 days going forward for all pre-orders, retroactive from May 5th, 2021, out of respect to those who purchased anticipating the NDA release for this month.
I think like the meme of like the $500 alpha, right? That is an example of why it's important to keep the game in NDA. Like, even though they had said multiple times that like you just get the alpha, like don't pay for it for the alpha or whatever, people still think that. And the meme becomes more powerful than reality because it's a better story. And so it's funnier that, and people, it's more compelling that people want to think that, oh, well, they're doing this terrible thing because they're trying to get a bunch of money, and it makes them feel a little bit more indignant and everything like that. It's a better fake story. Yeah, exactly. So in my opinion, I think that it's very obvious that the $500 fucking thing is not for getting into the alpha. And if you think that it is, you know, I don't know what to tell you, man. I really don't know what to tell you. Just because it's included doesn't mean that's like how much it costs to get in. I feel like it's just such a weird way to look at it. Yeah, it's not a microtransaction. Exactly. That's a very good way to look at it.
So I have no real problems with this, to be honest. I think it's perfectly normal. I think it's perfectly fine. And let's move on. Let's talk about Steven's outburst, because this was unacceptable.
To
like I said at the start of the
macro-transaction,
video,
yeah.
this was completely unacceptable. So, as you can see here, Steven posted an opinion. I'll zoom in for you guys since people always remind me. He said, and bear in mind this is on his personal Discord account, that yes, he uses for Ashes of Creation. He didn't pin this. It wasn't in an announcement section. It wasn't on the Ashes of Creation official Twitter account. It was on his personal account called Steven. He said, quote, I really enjoyed how it was stated they would include quality of life items like level boosts and trade skill boosts, but nothing that affects competitive aspects of the game. Why you do this, Amazon? I was flattered when they drew inspiration from some of my designs, but honestly, who the fuck made this decision? I just want some new blood in the genre. FFS. And this is obviously in regards to New World and Amazon Game Studios.
Everybody
and how
knows
they
about
announced,
that.
and, you know, they didn't really announce it because they basically Harry Pottered this motherfucker under the stairs at the Dursleys about the monetization of the game and how there would be quality of life and pay for convenience, which are fucking mad concepts in a game that hasn't even released yet.
Yeah, so I made a whole post about this. I don't know if you guys saw it or not. I titled it New World, Same Shit. And I think that, really good longer. I thought it was really good, and I said the same stuff. Basically, I mean, I've said 100 times on my stream, right? I don't need to get into it again. But, like, it's obvious that it's garbage.
And how tone deaf New World have been on that, to be honest. He gave a perfectly valid opinion on this as an individual. And the fact that people use the term professional in this setting,
it's the same
just
thing with
confuses
streaming.
me a little bit, because so he is by definition a professional. He's a creative director of his own game development studio, and in that capacity, he of course shouldn't be sniping at other games.
Right.
But in terms of professionalism, do you think like Elon Musk's walking around 24 hours a day, 24/7 in a fucking shirt and tie, going to sleep and showering in a shirt and tie because he's so professional? No, and nor should he be expected to be. You're a professional for the hours you're at work, and then the hours that you're not at work, you can do whatever the fuck you want. Like, as long as you're not hurting anybody, who cares? Like, literally, who's getting upset by a...
The same thing happens with streaming. So, like, for example, like, if I give my opinion on a streamer, like, my personal opinion, people are going to think the same thing about it. Like, if I say X or Y streamer is boring or bad or shitty or whatever it is, right? Like, now that I'm an org owner, I can't really do that anymore. Like, I can make general comments as, like, you know, on a professional level, but, like, I can't really give my personal opinion anymore. It's unfortunate, but there it is. I don't know how to get around that. Honestly, I don't.
A game development studio head having an opinion about another game development studio. I understand the aspect of people being like, oh, because the games are, like, competing, it's poor form to, like, snipe at them or whatever. But at the same time, who fucking cares? Like, at the end of the day, it's an individual having an opinion about something that he's entitled to have an opinion about. This was not an official take or anything. So, and to be honest, it's a shitty position to put yourself in, because now he's apologized and people are going to jump on that and be like, oh, you know, we won. So anytime he says anything in the future, they know that they can just essentially get him to cop to it. And it's just not a good... It's just not a...
I think that's kind of true. To some degree, like the don't apologize for stuff, but at a certain point, like if I was Steven, like would I have made that post or not? I probably wouldn't have made the post. Like the truth is, I wouldn't have made the post because that's just what the public perception is going to be, and it doesn't matter like what things should be or whatever. It's just what's going to happen.
Good idea. I don't think he did anything worth apologizing for. And another aspect of this is what we like, and the bonuses and benefits of small game development studios is that they are humans who you can have a conversation with and you can interact with, and they're accessible. It's like you can go on his Discord and speak to him. You can go on me as a content creator, my Discord, and speak to me.
Imagine that.
You want him to be Bobby Kotick? I mean, I don't know if they get Twitter in fucking hell, but obviously Bobby Kotick's not posting opinions about video games and other video games because there's no money in that for him. So of course he's not going to, the absolute fucking goblin that he is. But just in general, I don't understand why you want to take the benefits of having these small studios like be accessible and then not have them allowed to have an opinion. It's like those things are conflicting and you can't have one without the other. So I hope that people in his position or himself are not going to like not give opinions about things in the future just because people think that if you are involved in one company, you cannot have an opinion about other companies. It's a little bit odd to me personally, and I'm not sure why this was newsworthy and people are calling.
I can see why Steven did it. I definitely can. And like, as I said, as being in a person in that position before, it does make sense. If I was in his position, I probably would have put out an apology too. Even though it's his personal Twitter and everything like that, people are going to interpret it as this other way. And it's like nowadays, like your personal and professional life are just like so blended. It's really hard to really have a conversation. I don't know. Like it was in his Discord. I mean, the thing is, like, if it was here would be the delineation that I would make. If it was posted publicly, I would apologize. If it was posted privately, I would not. Like if it was available for the public to see, then I would have made an apology and so like, yeah, it is what it is. But if not, I wouldn't have done that.
On it like aggressive and an outburst, like a fucking grow up, guys. Just because somebody has an opinion that you don't agree with doesn't mean like they're being
getting mad about stuff does make people like really
as an individual
not want to like interface
it's
with the
kind of
community.
wild, but either way, that's the news. That's the video. So yeah, I think that's it for this one. Thank you very much for watching as always. Leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe if you're not already. Check out my links in the video description. There's Discord, there's Twitch, and there is Patreon if you want to support me further off this platform. So hopefully my opinions didn't upset anyone too much, and I'll see you on the next one. Stay safe out there. We're out. Peace.
It's a good video. It was a good video. I'm glad you talked about that. I spent $500 Ashes Creation. Is this the video here that people wanted me to see?
Hey, what up, boys? So, it's
What up,
finally
bro?
here. The Alpha 1 keys are
What up,
available
dude?
to purchase. We can finally get another whiff of that new MMO smell. But this one is special. This
Okay.
one is the smell of Ashes of Creation.
Oh.
One of the most anticipated MMOs of the current era to ever have been smelt. Can you stop talking about smells? It's weird.
Yeah,
sorry.
it is.
All the appropriate links and official information is down
Certainly
in the
is.
description below. So if you want to find out any of this information for yourself, go ahead and check that out. Hey, you could even give this video a like whilst you're at it.
But
Imagine
Narc, why have you made an 8-minute video just to tell us the alpha keys are available?
Well, my uninformed but beautiful listener, there's a few
Why
important
am I
topics I
bald?
want to get off my chest today because I'm
What's that?
skeptical of MMO releases too. And even though Steven and his team have given a lot of us a ray of hope in these dark times of layoffs in our game companies,
Just say Blizzard, okay? Like next time, just say Blizzard. We all know you're talking about Blizzard. Just say it.
content difficulty for literal children, and, well, just lack of content in general for our homes away from home. So, sit back, relax, and with all that bollocks out of the way, let's begin, shall we? So, right off the bat, this alpha test is a true development alpha. That means this is not a showcase of the game. Not a glorified advert that streamers are being paid to say positive things about it. This is...
See, the thing is, like, I want to make sure some people know this, that if you are getting money from a developer, you have to disclose that. And not disclosing that is a literal felony. Like, so I know that there's a lot of people who think that, you know, streamers do it and they do it without telling people, etc. Let me promise you, I have never heard of a case of that happening.
Is the game currently in its alpha state with only 20% of the game's world available to play on? Time and time again, publishers pressure their companies into pushing their games out as soon as possible without reacting to player feedback, without proper stress testing, without doing the proper balance, and in some cases, without even playing the damned content themselves to see if it's fun. Ashes of Creation is taking their time with this game. Intrepid want to make sure they get it right first time. Proper testing and feedback during this alpha is essential to the game's development. Are the classes going to be underwhelming and completely unbalanced? Of course. Is the node system going to stall and brick the server until it's manually reset? Definitely. Are the servers going to crash and burn multiple times on day one and all throughout the test for that matter?
Yes.
I certainly hope so, because that means feedback is being received and progress is being made with everyone to see. A company has never
Yeah.
been so ballsy as to have a game this hype and publicly show off their alpha development. Steven has said multiple times live on Twitch, in interviews, in articles, and I quote,
"You are not purchasing Alpha 1." For those of you who are interested in that, and I know we've had a lot of interest in it, you are
Yeah.
not purchasing Alpha 1 to play Ashes of Creation. You are purchasing Alpha 1 if you do so to test it and to give us feedback, and that's a responsibility we expect you to hold dear.
they want people who, one, want to support the development.
See, like, yeah, they want people to, they just want people to test the fucking game. That's simple. Yeah, you have to do the feedback. That's what really matters.
Which leads me on to my next point. Gone are the days where companies test their own games, right?
Why pay people to test it when players are dumb enough to pay us to test it?
Obviously, I'm kidding here. Well, actually, no, I'm not in World of Warcraft's case, but hey.
Man, what
So
the
why
fuck,
is
dude?
the alpha $500?
Ah,
Who in their right mind
come
thinks
on.
that's a good idea? From an outside perspective,
so
it
fucked
just looks
up.
like another one of them Kickstarter scam MMOs, right?
Wrong.
Intrepid
Jesus.
have no publisher. They are a company who own only one IP currently, and that is Ashes of Creation. Their funding not
Yeah.
only comes out of Steven's own pocket, but it also comes from us. We say again and
true.
again about publishers ruining our games, and there's some famous quote from a guy at Nintendo who said,
A good game
you
can only
don't get
be
another
released once."
chance. Life is no Nintendo game. That's not the right one. That's not the right... Hang on. I know that
Yeah, a shitty game. It's a, you guys will see it.
there's a
Everybody
popular
knows what
quote
everybody knows what
somewhere
he's
on
talking
Google
about.
about a Nintendo guy. This must be it here. A delayed game is eventually good,
I don't know about the accent. Like, yeah, I don't know.
but a rushed game is forever bad. From Shigeru Miyamoto, whoever that is.
Yeah, put some fucking, what? Are you kidding me? Put some fucking respect on his name. Are you kidding me? His name was in the credit scene of every fucking game that I grew up playing. What? What? Wow.
You serious?
This $500 pack isn't just access to this limited time alpha phase. It comes with game time, a bunch of store currency, and in-game items in the form of cosmetics.
Yes.
Take a
Exactly.
look at what this pack
Yeah, exactly.
actually offers you on their website. You get 11 months of game time, which is worth $165.
Mm-hmm.
You get $150 in cosmetic store currency for anything added to the game after launch. Your name reservation, which, I don't know, let's just value that at $10. Who cares? And you get this month's featured cosmetics,
40.
which is some lovely ocean-themed stuff. We're
35.
trying to give some value to this.
99.
The outfit, $20. A mount, $15.
Yeah.
A ship skin, well, BDO sell that for $50. So let's just
True.
value this at a reasonable $15 again. Same as a mount because, you know, we're not high on copium. Plus you get a pet, a freehold building skin, and some
It's funny for me to see that, and then because chat always spams that shit. They always spam that shit.
unique cosmetic piece too. This small cosmetic pack is probably valued around $60 to $70, bringing the total price of the alpha access to $100. Plus access to all testing phases going forward.
yeah.
I don't know, seems pretty reasonable to me. We're not being charged for any game time during the Alpha 2 testing phase, and
True.
the current plan for that is to run all the way up until the game's release, being developed live. So during that period, you can play Ashes as much as you like.
Here's my opinion with like the supporter packs and shit like that is only do the supporter packs if you're trying to support the game. Like if you're trying to get value out of the supporter packs by like getting into the alpha, if like there's any value that you want to get out of it, then that's a problem. I'm going to start the interview. Listen, it should be in 1 minute. Yeah, okay. Yeah, let's do the interview now. I'm going to go ahead and pull it up. All right, yeah, he's totally good with me restreaming it. I said, love you, dude. Good luck. So, title alone seems disingenuous. Yeah. Only $500 to test it. What the fuck? No, the thing is, like, if you're... it's like, if you donate the $500 to test the game, you should not do that. Like, you should only do it if you want to support the project. You shouldn't just pay, like, you should not pay $500 to do a test of the game.